We are live.
Hey everybody, welcome to AKA Geeks and Movie of the Week. With me I have Lynn.
What's up, everybody?
This week is the first week of the month of October, and we are jumping right on into our Halloween/horror movie month. This month, we are starting off with a supernatural horror film. I've been wanting the guys to watch it for a while now. It's called It Follows. I think I did a review on this one back in the day, but it's
Did you?
about time to get back into this one and talk about it a little bit.
So that means you watched this more than once?
This was the second time I watched it. Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, yeah, let's get into this slut shaming movie. Let's do it.
I'm glad you used that term, man. Because It Follows. All I have to say to this, and this gives you the idea where I am with this. It Follows. It sucks. It sucks bad, man.
Really?
It's not hashtag horror bad. Let's get that out of the way, because we always compare it to bad as being in comparison to that. It's not that bad because I thought the music was awesome, but there's a lot of this film that's just wrong for me.
All right. So before we go to
I wanted to like it, mind you. I wanted to like it.
Let's talk about the good things. You like the music?
Yeah, the music was very. The music put you in the ambiance, but then that's the only positive that I can give it, because there were so many failures in the use of the music that it's sort of just like it pulled me out of a scene.
Okay.
Where the music builds up the atmosphere and the tension, like it's supposed to. What was going on didn't really fit for me.
Oh, before we go too far, let me read off the description of the film.
Yeah.
A young woman is followed by an unknown supernatural force after a sexual encounter. This is why I said this movie's all about slut shaming. All right, so you like the music, it plays, but then at the same time, it doesn't entirely do it for you.
Right.
I definitely thought the music is one of the strengths of the film,
yeah,
and it gives you that horror/80s horror vibe.
Yeah, the music was like so on point with so many things that you'd expect. You know, if the music was played by itself, like if I had the soundtrack, I'd say I'd be grateful, and I commend whoever wrote the music and played it, but everything else just fell apart after that.
Well, I'll still go on to some of my positives then, at least.
Okay.
I also liked, with the music, they also used the camera in some of the set shots, some of the, not the stuff where they're up close on the people, but some of the set shots of the scenery. They, am I frozen on your screen?
Yes, yes you are.
All right, just pretend I'm not frozen.
Just go with it.
So the camera, the way the camera moves, pans, turns, it does. I think it moves well with the music. I like that aspect.
See, I agree with that, because the camera shots are fine. I have no problem with that, because there were certain things that it felt like it was just one continuous shot, and then other times the way it was, the cuts to other directions in the scene felt normal. Camera work, music work was on point. It's just the actors were not the greatest in the world. The story was like very lackluster and very disappointing for me. So, but go ahead with your positives.
I don't have a ton of positives. I'll say this is that I enjoyed the movie the first time.
Okay.
I enjoyed the movie less the second time.
Okay.
And I felt like I noticed stuff in it the second time I've watched it now that I probably gave it a pass the first time,
right,
and I didn't pay close, or I didn't like zoom in on some of these things. So let's jump into some of your negatives, Lynn.
Everything. No, to be honest, okay, the thing that follows, as more, and this is more a problem because of the story, there were hints that you know, with the one guy that gave her the curse, he was saying that he got it off of someone else, and you figured, okay, it's a creepy picture. They would try to look for some type of history in pertaining to anything, like how it starts off. The one girl's being chased out of her home by this thing. She ends up at the beach. She calls her father, says she loves him, loves her mother, and next thing you know, she's dead in the beach with her leg like completely discombobulated, and there's no mention by any type of police or anything or what have you about this incident happening.
I'll say that too, is that with however many people it's killed in this film, or in the whatever, we don't hear about or see in the film. With
Yeah.
all the people it's killed or taken, why is there no police story about any of this? It's almost as if everybody that dies just goes unnoticed to everybody.
Right. And not only
Like
that,
there was more police attention on the fact that she got lied to so the guy could get in her pants.
yeah.
There was
Did you notice when it came to parents, the only real parent that was a major key thing was the main character's mother.
and they barely showed.
And they barely showed her. Yeah, everybody else's parents were hinted at. And the one guy who she eventually passes the curse on, who completely was oblivious, his mother was only seen when he died, and it was like very uncomfortable with how that was all filmed, because that was like a very ancestral moment right there at his death.
Well, here's the thing. I want to give them some slack on that, because he said "Mom" as he's opening the door before he saw her. So we don't know for sure. He didn't say it after he saw her. So I don't know for sure.
No, it was definitely. Here's why, and I'm sticking.
Right as he's opening the door, he says "Mom," and then
he was like, "Mom, what in the hell?" He says something along that lines.
He's a half-naked woman, but we don't know for sure if that was his mom. I'm saying this because say it.
Hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there. Because it only appears to the individuals. It tries to fool the victim, and it will show itself up as someone they know first.
Well, no, but they said earlier in the film as well that it could be anybody. It doesn't have to be someone they know.
And a perfect example, at the beach, when they're all at the beach sitting in the sand and what have you, the one girl swimming, but yet here comes the thing coming at them as the same girl.
Yeah, and then did you notice the little boy when he stuck his head through the door?
Yeah,
it's actually the little boy from the neighborhood
who was peeking in at her swimming in the pool.
And here's the other thing: at the end of the movie, when they finally shoot the thing in the head, it's actually her father.
Yeah,
that's why she's telling her sister, "You don't want to know." But even then, like, there were certain times where it was a random person that they didn't know.
The only time was when it was that giant tall dude. And I thought
dude, it was the old lady.
The old lady was
black girl. It was the black girl.
Yeah.
There was numerous times where it was someone that they did not recognize. When when the guy was saying, "Who's the girl in the yellow dress?" and then she's like, "What yellow dress?" Because he thought it was just a random girl in a yellow dress.
Yeah.
So it can be either thing. I think that with the timing of how he opened the door, I don't want to say that might have been his mom. It could have been his mom. I'm gonna go on the side of he was saying it as because he thought it was his mom initially. But
I'm in agreement and disagreement with you, because I think he saw his mom, hence why he didn't run. And like I said, he was the only one who was oblivious to the fact that this thing was coming after him. So, but I believe he saw his mother, and what we were looking at was his mother, and because even the girl saw what he was looking at. That's the only thing. It's like they were able to see. It didn't change forms by each individual person's look. Like if we were both looking at this thing, we were looking at the same thing. We weren't looking at two different things. So that's why I'm thinking it was his mom in image. So, but it was still a little creepy seeing her,
so
gyrating.
One of the things that I'm not a fan of in the film is that I truly do think this is an in-your-face slut-shaming type of film.
Oh yeah,
it's totally trying to tell you.
See what happens
and I don't know the director. I don't know the director's background, whether or not it's a joke to them, or they're really they're being serious about this, or they're religious, or whatever the case may be. I don't know the guy's background, David Robert Mitchell. But to me, it seems like he has issues with sex, or whether it's in real life or sex in horror movies,
right?
And he's trying to say that it's not a good thing. So they essentially have her, as a consequence of her being promiscuous, whether or not she was fooled or she chooses to do an orgy with 3 dudes on a boat.
Well, you know what's funny, and that's and the pacing for this was abysmal. There were times I was like, "Oh my God, really?" And it's only been 10 minutes of time that's elapsed that I've been watching. I'm like, really? This has only been 10 minutes? I kept pausing to see how much time I had left on the film. because the pacing was just like, oh, it was just like, no, this had to move better. There were so many slow parts in there that it was just like a death knell. Like you're waiting for something to happen, and why isn't there something happening?
I honestly think that they could have done more, because whatever it was anything.
Yeah.
I think they could have done a whole lot more with it before they got to the main characters. Other than the one kill, they could have done a couple of kills.
But here's the thing, that's where I was saying and this is where it hurts because of the story, is that you get little bits and pieces that there's a line of people that this thing has gone through. But there's no paper trail, there's no story, there's no origin, even like a little bit of that leading to that, to make us like, why the hell should we care about this thing if nobody can see it anyway?
And the thing about it is that, like, I don't know how you feel. How do you feel about like Halloween movies or Jason films?
See,
well, what I'm saying is that, are they survival movies? Because for the most part, nobody's ever going to survive that. You know what I mean? You're just trying to run away to get to safety, right?
Well, there's always one survivor. Everybody else, it's basically they're hack slash films. That's all they are, and that's all they were intended. And
in this one, though, it seems like there's no end in sight.
Yeah, but
even at the end, when he sleeps with the prostitutes, or they imply that he sleeps with the prostitutes, and they've slept with however many other guys and whatever, it still comes back to them relatively quickly. They imply that he sleeps with the prostitutes.
Yeah, the
again, they're slut shaming. They should not be doing that. It's not cool. If I want to sleep with a prostitute,
but it goes along the same lines, because the one boy that she does sleep with first, who was completely oblivious, that's why you saw him in the school like messing around with the two girls,
talking to him.
Yeah, because it was implied that, all right, now he's gonna male whore himself to these two girls to get the shit off of him.
Yeah.
At least that's what I saw when I was seeing that whole scene. I'm like, okay. And then he's back in the hospital holding her hand. I'm like, and can I say that for her being in a cast, that cast has to be like the most strongest concrete cast ever, because she goes swimming in it. She goes into the salt water with it, and the thing does not fall apart. I'm like, holy fucking shit.
That's a terrible looking cast, though. I mean,
it's horrible.
It would be cool if they used an actual cast, because that thing didn't look like an actual cast to me. It just looked like a wrap.
Yeah, almost. But at the same time, holy crap, man! It went through salt water. It went through chlorine water. And she
back onto what we were talking about, the guy talking to two girls.
Yeah.
Their implied scenes of essentially, I guess they're implying that whenever somebody who has it following them, when looks at another person of the opposite sex, it means they're having sex.
That's what I thought.
And I do think that that's a weak explanation of having an implied relationship, because now your audience truly doesn't know for sure. Yeah. You know, I'm assuming they could have done better with at least getting into it. Like the girl, one of the prostitutes could have gotten into the car of the boy, or the boy, the other boy, Greg, could have taken those two girls back to his house,
right,
in his station wagon, or the girl, Jay, could have made it to the boat, and the guys could have said, "What's going on here?" And then she could have been sultry or something, and then cut it there, because then we at least get a more concrete confirmation.
This was definitely a damned if you do, damned if you don't, either way, because even if they were going to have sex, they were going to get screwed, and even if they didn't have sex, they were going to get screwed for it. So
yeah,
it was like, but my whole point is, I want to know, well, how the fuck did this thing come about? It's just following someone out of nowhere.
What I'm saying, you know where this thing came about? It came about from the director saying sex is bad.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking about you want your audience to believe this thing is some type of metaphysical creature, even if it's like faith-based.
Halloween, he kills his sister, and then is in a sanitarium for however many years, 20 years, you know?
Yeah, he kills one of his sisters.
Yeah, and so, but that's where it comes from, you know, right? We know, we understand that.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be super deep, but we understand it. This is just, oh, the one guy's like, oh yeah, I think it came from this girl in a bar that I slept with a one night stand. Like I think that's where it started. That's the only explanation they give us. And I go, that's a real weak sauce kind of explanation.
And here's where continuity fucks with me, because we start with the one girl that, you know, dies on the beach, right?
Yeah. So she probably slept with that guy already.
But here's my thing. He would have came after her. She would not have been first to die. So the continuity is all like ass backwards there.
No. So what it was is, okay, at the beginning of the movie, it kills the girl, the blonde in the heels, right?
Yeah.
At the beach. Yeah. At the beach or lake or whatever. Because they're it's probably the Great Lakes, because I think they're in Detroit.
They're in Michigan, yeah. They're Detroit,
so,
Michigan.
After it kills the girl at the beginning, it goes now it's going back to kill the guy that slept with her, which is now trying to sleep with Jay.
But the thing is, if he was after her, if she had it first, it should have killed him first, is what I'm saying.
No. It's going after the most recent person that has sex. So it's like when you knock one out, it goes to the person you knock
but the
one out
thing
with.
is, whoever he got it from, he was told this, and he was trying to pass it off to somebody else. That's why he tried to sleep with Jay. So that means it should have been Jay, then him, then whoever he slept with. Do you see? It's backwards.
What they're saying is it's like a family tree, Lynn. It's like so.
No. See, that's not how he stated it to her. And
No. Just think of it. He's already slept with that blonde girl. Is what I'm saying. He slept with that blonde girl and passed it off to her. Now it's coming back after him, and that's why he's going after Jay.
But
because
that's still like too much of a clusterfuck and too much of a loophole, and I'm already getting a headache.
What they tried to do with that is
I looked at it as a step ladder.
They tried to do it as a way to show this thing actually killing somebody, but they didn't even show it actually kill her, because they just showed her body.
Yeah, you saw the aftermath.
Yeah, you didn't see the kill, right?
No.
And so what it is so it goes from her, goes back to the guy, and now the guy's trying to pass it on to Jay. And then here's the thing, is I wanna know, which they don't really explain. That girl was killed very violently, and when it's going after Jay, it's going after her very violently. But then when it kills Greg, it kills him sexually.
Yeah.
Do you notice that?
Yeah,
I want to see it go after another guy, and is it going to kill the other guy sexually and like drain all of his semen, or what? Like it did with him.
But my point being, you said, okay, the one girl, why didn't it go to the one guy that slept with Jay first? And still, because if it's a family tree type, like you're talking about, branch it out, it should have went directly to him, then Jay, then whoever came.
Yeah, so it's blonde. I mean? It's blonde girl at the beginning.
Yeah,
and then she dies. It's now going back after
another blonde.
Hugh, no, the guy.
Yeah,
Hugh.
But he was blonde.
Yeah, sure, blonde. Yeah, I was just saying Hugh, the guy. But the guy sees that it's coming back after him, so he goes and tries to hook up with Jay. He hooks up with Jay. Now the thing is going after Jay, not going after Hugh anymore. So then he books it and leaves town, right? Going back to home to his mommy.
Yeah.
So now it's going after Jay. Jay sleeps with Greg. Now it's going after Greg. It kills Greg, goes back to Jay. Jay sleeps with the 3 dudes on the boat, and now it goes and kills 3 dudes on the boat.
Which we're assuming because
once you look at somebody other's sex, apparently you've banged their brains out.
Yeah.
Which again, that's a really bad way to tell your audience that they hooked up, especially when that's an integral plot point of how this thing, kills, right? Or tracks.
But we don't know a reason why. It's just like out of the blue. This thing's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna target slutty guys and girls who just want
people who are promiscuous, especially people that are in high school. But if you're in high school and you're having sex, maybe this dude never got laid in high school.
But the thing is, Hugh was 21. Okay.
Maybe the director never got laid in high school. Well,
goddamn, man. Because for him to hate people this much to make this movie, because,
So there's lots of things that I noticed. Like I said, this is the second time I've seen it. There's things that I noticed that are not as well done as I thought they were okay in the first one. Right. The first time watching it, I felt like as much as innocent or nice as as Paul was, as nice as he was who's also a little creepy.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And I think I think Paul's a recollection of the director.
Yeah, and it's kind of like because
when he said, "I picked you first, why didn't you pick me?" And she can feel safe. I think you can handle it.
Yeah, so she's backhanded. She's backhanded, like complimenting and trying to save him, but by saying she's trying to save him, calls him a pussy, or he can't act his own. Yeah, but he's still okay with it because then he tries to kiss her, and it's one of those things like he's still a creepy character, regardless of how nice his character is supposed to be because he respects women or whatever. He's still creepy.
And you know what's funny is when you're first introduced to everybody that she has in her little circle of friends. And can I say these are the worst people to be friends with? Because they will shoot you in the leg and worry about whatever's in the pool than the fact that you're bleeding out from getting a bullet shot put into you.
It was funny because Yara's over there holding her leg and then
not
over
crying. She's just like
over there looking in the pool like as if he could see something, which he can't.
No.
At that point, Paul should try to help her away from the pool.
Or even just say, "I'm sorry for shooting you in the leg."
Yeah.
But when you first introduced to all of them, besides Jay and her sister, I actually thought he was gay because there's no way a guy like that is hanging around with 3 girls and be straight. Because I really thought he was gay. Because he came.
Well, I think Yara is Paul's sister because I'm assuming that because you see them a lot together, and then Kelly is
if that's the assumption you got, I could go with that, and I'm not saying because when she calls him the idiot, and she was very like it was a weird flirtatious way of saying idiot. So that's why I didn't get brother or sister. I was just like, this is a creepy circle of friends.
I do think there are certain things that happen in this film, like that it's one of those things where there was a couple years ago when I did Movie of the Week, and I did it all based on movie tropes for Halloween. And this is one of those tropes that I hate about films, especially horror films. And this is one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of horror films, is when they're at the beach and the thing starts grabbing her hair is lifting up. Not only is Paul seeing it, but also Kelly is seeing it, and it's happening to Jay.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, Paul hits the thing with a chair, then gets backhanded and flies 15 feet. And later on, picks up his shirt and you see markings. Why not just tell Greg, "Hey, Greg, it happened. Look it. I got hit by some damn thing."
This is exactly what I mean about story just falling apart.
But this is why I don't like horror movies, Lynn.
But they're not. Here's the thing. A traditional horror film, as someone who grew up watching a ton of them, between good and bad ones, the good ones don't have a story that falls apart within itself like this one does. I can't constitute this as being even horror. The only thing that the atmosphere, camera, and music were the only thing that has any inkling that there was horror. And I'm like,
you know what it made me feel like? Please do not take this out of context. Mostly because of the music, the camera, and the group setting of the kids, it made me feel like Stranger Things before Stranger Things came out, but with older kids.
I looked at this as like a darker Dawson's Creek, sort of like a Riverdale. I really did, because it had that feel. It had the Riverdale feel, but with Dawson-like characters, because they were all like freaking nerdy as hell. They weren't. Nobody was really pretty. They were all stupid with one another. They had no sense of fucking. Obviously, they had no sense of morality because they didn't mind sleeping with one another. So it was like,
well, I'm telling you, I think this all goes back to the director, man. I think we should look at some more films by David Robert Mitchell.
Oh, you could do that on your own.
No, we don't have to watch them. Just look at them and read their synopsises and reviews and find out if he does a lot of movies that are regarding shaming people who have sex.
Right.
All right, Lynn, let's get some last thoughts on this thing. Last thoughts and a score. Great.
D minus. And I recommend everybody just stay the hell away from this one. Not even on a whim. Don't even don't say, well, maybe it's not as bad as they're saying. No, it's bad. It's not #horror bad, like I said, but it's just not. It's such a waste of time. that is not worth even like having that inkling put in your head. I would never watch this a second time.
Did you watch this by yourself?
Yes,
Okay.
thankfully, because I think I would have gotten smacked if I had somebody else watch
I
this.
wonder how Susan would have reacted to this.
Oh, she would have hated it.
So I actually, when I watched this the first time, I watched it with either my mother or my father. I watched it with one of them.
Right.
I can't remember what their responses were. I think my mother had just gotten home from work when we were halfway through it or something. So I think I was watching with my dad.
Right.
I'm gonna give it a C minus.
You're being awfully nice.
I'm giving it a C minus because of what was done with the music, the camera, the feeling, the vibe. It made me feel like
That's the reason why I'm giving them the D. The minus is for everything else.
I think they could have done better. I think they could have had something with the storyline of this.
Yeah.
But they should have done. The director should have done a better job developing that, and that's where I think this thing falls off.
You can tell that this film was not filmed in some type of order, because it looks like it's just a bunch of scenes thrown together. And look, I got 90 minutes worth of film. There, it's done. And because I would love to have them to actually have a solid story, a background to whatever this thing was supposed to be, what the purpose of it all, and you know.
Yeah. Here's another thing about it. If you look at the cast, I've only seen these actors in anything else, and that's Paul.
I've only seen Paul.
Keir Gilchrist, I've seen him in other things, and Greg, Daniel Zavato. Those are the only two I've even seen on anything else. And not like I watch shows with them on it or whatever.
Yeah.
I've seen their face on another film, like trailer or something, right?
Same.
Other than that, I mean, that tells you something about the film, though, right?
It tastes of garbage.
Yeah, well, yeah, and obviously these actors and actresses, these actors are not the best actors.
Well, no, to be fair, the kid that plays Paul, what I saw him in, I actually liked him in, and I'm trying to remember because I think it's another teen type film, and I'll have to go back and look through his IMDb to see which one it was.
The one that I remember that he's in, it's one where he's in a not a sane asylum, but he's checked into or he voluntarily checks into like a sanitarium, sane asylum or whatever.
Yeah.
Psychiatric ward, and it's with what's her name, Roberts, I think, Emma Robert.
And Zach Galifianakis.
And see, I remember him from that.
I remember him from that, and
kind of a funny story. That's what it's called. He's also in a movie called Dead Silence that has that Pee Wee Herman looking doll.
Right.
And he was on a TV show, United States of Terror. But the big one is it's kind of a funny story because he was the main actor in that one.
Right.
But again, all the other actors, you don't see them in anything. This It Follows was filmed and put out in 2014. Yeah, 2014. So it was filmed in 2013 probably, or filmed in 2014, released on March 27th.
Oh no, actually, the United States of Terror is awesome.
It's a TV show. I've never watched it.
It was on Netflix.
Yeah,
that's where I saw it. I saw that, and the reason why is because the lead in there, he plays her gay son, and in that. No, but he's actually really good in that. And it had 3 seasons. And Toni Collette, who plays the mother in this, is awesome. She was in About a Boy.
Okay.
You know, so she plays a really fucked up character with multiple personalities. There's a sexy one you know, and that's where I liked him from, and before the other one, the kind of funny story. But I think
movie
did not help him.
Yeah, it goes down to the fact that all these other actors, I haven't seen them in anything. I haven't heard of them in anything, other than those 2 people and both of the guys, Paul and Greg. I haven't seen or heard of them in anything. To me, that's a testament to the quality of their acting abilities, probably.
But
I mean, I'm not claiming I'm an actor or anything like that. Please don't take it like that way. But I'm not saying I can do better, but.
Well, for all you know, they might have been in a lot of stuff. So let's not assume that they might have been in a whole lot of stuff. You know.
Yeah, maybe it just didn't make it to IMDb.
Yeah.
They're all stage shows in
Because
there.
the girl who played Jay, she has a body of work after that. She has a huge body of work after that.
How did you feel, like, before, just a few more things before we close up, but how did you feel about them highlighting the whole sex thing with them? They're all teenagers, pretty much.
It felt creepy, though.
Right?
It really felt creepy. I'm like, really? Do I have to go through this?
Because they're all teenagers, like, sophomores.
Except for Hugh, because Hugh was the only one that's 21.
But I think all of them, even Jay, is supposed to be playing like a senior in high school. Because remember, they
junior, yeah.
Because they say that doesn't the mother or somebody say something about skipping school or something?
Right.
Yeah. So to me, they're all in high school, and so they're sexualizing. I'm telling you, Lynn, this director, he has an issue with high school sex.
All I want to know is who he paid for the review that's on IMDb.
What review?
Okay, there's a user review on there, and here's the title. I'll just give you the title. It says, "Completely original, certain to become a classic, wonderful addition to the best of horror list," and it's by a Mark Gorman from the UK, and he gives it like 3, 6, 8 out of 10 stars. What the fuck was he watching? Is what I want to know.
Listen to this, some of the stuff he's worked on as a writer. As a writer and director, it follows. There's also another one called The Myth of the American Sleepover. Another short movie called Virgin. Another short as a producer he helped made called Kiss. So this dude has, I don't know, to me it seems like he has an affinity for things that are regarding sex.
Because read what his Virgin is about. It's about the Virgin Mary.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It goes...
I was just going based on title.
In 2002, Mitchell wrote and directed Virgin, a short film featuring Carolina Castro and Cameron Diskin about a local legend sees a vision of Virgin Mary, which leads him to the pursuit of true love.
Okay, so that's true love. So it's about true love. This one is Virgin is
based on the Virgin Mary, and then
seeing the Virgin Mary causes him to look for true love.
Right.
Kiss. All Megan wants is to join her friend's exclusive women issue club. Only problem, she doesn't have any women issues. So to join, Megan must find a boy to kiss. Easier said than done. So how old are these girls that they're focusing on?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think this director has issues, Lynn. I think he has issues.
Oh my god, I hope I never see something of his again.
Myth of the American Sleepover. It stars somebody that looks like Dana Carvey.
It's probably him, because that's what the director almost got that look.
No, it's not.
No, I know, but I'm saying
it's not him. Thankfully, God, I would hate it if Dana Carvey was in one of his movies. 4 young people navigate the suburban wonderland of Metro Detroit, looking for love and adventure on last weekend of summer. I'm telling you, every single one of his things is revolving sex, or the one with love. He's got some kind of issue with this stuff.
Somebody calls this the myth of the American sleepover. Hold on, a modern day John Hughes film that doesn't quite hit the mark. Really?
It erased, right? It doesn't have my name on it, right?
No, it says the film guy won from Canada. And when I was looking for posters for our little camera view here, the only poster that kept popping up had the title, one of the most striking American horror films in years. I wanted to shoot myself because I said, nope, I just want it plain. So I picked the first thing I found and like chopped it up so it didn't have those wordings.
So I'll say this, like you gave it a D-, I gave it a C-. There are definitely better horror movies out there.
Yes, and I'm hoping we watch some of the better ones.
Even on Netflix, there's some other stuff. We got to look into that now and decide what we're going to do next week. We're going to continue on with the month of Halloween and horror films. Anything you want to add, Lynn, before we close things up?
Oh, I said what I already had to say.
I'd just say goodbyes.
All right, guys. As always, thank you for watching us ramble. Please avoid this film like the plague. Not too much like #horror, like I said, because that is the epitome of horror, and not on the good sense. But just if you see this in your queue, just find something else better to watch.
Heck, maybe watch it with friends while you're drunk.
I would even, dude. This isn't even a spank film. Like the boobs aren't even that nice in this, so it's not even worth doing it watching this with friends. But on that note, I'm done. It's over. Join us for our podcast this weekend. I have a haul pickup, a game pickup that I got recently that I'm going to put up later this week. But yeah, join us live for the podcast, and that's all I got.
All right, thank you, Lynn. Everybody, if you have a chance and you're in the Vegas area, go donate blood. If you're in the Vegas area and you need someone to talk to, go seek a professional. A lot of stuff happened this weekend, and things need to change. That's all I'm going to say. It's a really sad weekend, and we're going to strive to have fun with this movie review. With our podcast, we're going to have some more fun. And if you guys enjoy it, please tune in for more. That's all for myself, Sean, and we'll see you guys.